Om Sri Sai Ram, offering my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan. Thank you, Uncle, for such generous introduction. A lot of things I feel very uh, humble and in a way embarrassed to kind of talk about many things, because at the end of the day, it is He who drives each one of us. And in His hands, we're all instruments. So instrument as is doesn't have any significance. It is the creator, it is the master who takes these instruments, mold the instrument and use it for the mission that he has. That's what all matters in our lives. I'm very happy to be associated with MLN Uncle and the Tharaipakam Samiti too. In fact, when I moved to Sholinganallur in 2008, Krishnamurthy Uncle used to run the Tharaipakam Samiti in the temple. And that's one place where I used to go regularly and start my journey to Swami in a way. A little more active involvement, I would say, in Swami activities. That's how it started. So that way association is very long and deep with the Tharaipakam Samiti. And also MLN Uncle, under his leadership, all the work that they do is an inspiration not only to our district, for many districts in our Sai Seva organizations. Whatnot, the Balavikas classes or bhajans, Nagar Sankirtan. In spite of COVID situations, they have created these virtual programs. And this satsang itself is now going close to 1 year. And Uncle was telling that in this month, we will have 365th day of satsang. And that is something phenomenal. And similarly, the Nagar Sankirtan program that happens every day, though Uncle asked me to join, but it's my inability to join that. And I hope Swami gives me that strength at some stage to be part of Nagar Sankirtan also regularly. So having said that, again, as I said, it is a generous introduction. So I request, I pray Swami to kind of help me to speak through me today and explain my experiences and learnings to this August gathering. And these people, each one of you who are in this satsang, are kind of have been with Swami and Swami's organization in various capacities for very long periods. So I'm in a way very junior in front of all of you. But I want to really use this opportunity to share my learnings and experiences, more learnings than experiences, because that's what matters for me. Every experience and every interaction, everything that we get in this journey is a learning for us to move forward in this journey further. So if that learning is not there, then experience itself doesn't have any relevance. So that is the experiences that I wanted to share with each one of you. I want to kind of talk about two simple, very simple, but very profound teachings of Swami in this session today. Number one, Swami says that the purpose of the life is to realize divinity within. And in our Sai families, this is almost given. And talk to Balavika student or talk to anybody, ask him what is the purpose of life. It just naturally comes that, okay, it is the journey to God. And life itself is a journey to God, to realize that purpose. And so that is the first statement. Purpose of life is to realize divinity within. The second statement, the Swami also answers, how do you realize that divinity? He says there are only two steps to realize the divinity. And Swami says it's unity and purity. You have unity, you have purity, then you are bound to realize divinity. So these two appear to be so simple, and we hear it in and out in any lecture that Swami talks. And Swami, in fact, addresses each of us at the starting of his speech itself that we are Divyatma Swarupana, right? And embodiments of divinity, or Prematma Swarupana, embodiments of love. So Swami addresses each one of us with that, reminding us in every discourse that we are not just humans, we are divinity ourselves. but we don't realize that. And that's what Swami kind of tells. And there's so many lectures of Swami, speeches of Swami, and so many ardent devotees talked about all Swami's teachings, and all that information is there with us. So I'm going to kind of focus on these two topics and give my perspectives and my learnings and my experiences on these 2 points alone. So that it is very simple and easy for each one of us to understand. So the simple thing, again, 2 statements. Purpose of life is to realize divinity within. Number 2, there are only 2 steps to reach to the divinity. One is unity, second one is purity. And the journey, this itself, the life journey is really our journey to that divinity. And it is unique, it is special, and it is unique for each one of us. And if you look at each of our lives have that journey already started. Somebody in the middle of the journey, somebody is going through the advanced phases of the journey. And each one's journey is unique. It is unique between him, the person, and the divinity himself. Right? And so in that journey, everything that happens in the life, in each of our lives, is the only purpose for that thing that happens to our life is to make us to move forward in our journey. Right? Be ups and downs that happen in life, good and bad that happen in life, relations that we get into in our lives, the interactions that we will have with our own families or our own friends, society, professions. All that is the only purpose of all that in this spiritual angle is only to help us to move forward in that journey. So to elaborate that further, and there are, as I said, 2 steps, unity and purity. And the first foundation block for that to realize this is the awareness itself. Awareness is important because without understanding this, there is no way you can move forward in the journey. So there has to be an awareness that these 2 are extremely important for us. That is purpose of life and our life's journey towards divinity. Awareness of that is extremely important for us to move forward. So I spent some time on the awareness and what Master does to make us aware of this purpose itself. And as much as possible, I kind of relate all these to life experiences because finally all that we learn has to help us to move forward, which means that the choice at the end of the day is in our hands. Whether you want to understand these learnings and move forward or take a step back or go in circles, it's all in our hands, right? And so as much as possible, let me make an attempt with Swami's help to relate these 2 personal experiences, relate to real incidents that had happened, be it my work or be it my life, so that we can make use of this opportunity. And at the end of the day, as I again said, everything that I talk with Swami's help is it really doesn't matter, but what you understand out of that is more important, right? And that's what matters for one's life, because this journey is unique for us as an individual. So each one of us, when I speak, it is an opportunity for me to reflect on those aspects and learn from that and move forward. And similarly, when you hear, again, you can relate to and see how it helps you to move forward in this journey. So let me spend some time and going deep onto the awareness part. So the purpose of life is to move towards divinity. And awareness is so important because statistically, if you look at it, 99% of humanity doesn't even understand this. And that's the life that we are in. That's the society that we are in. 99% of humanity don't even understand the purpose of life because for various reasons. Like everybody is in their own journey. It is the journey is unique and is inevitable. So one has to realize this purpose, but if it doesn't realize and if it take time, then it will take years to to realize that purpose. So 99% of the people don't realize that. And for us who happen to be in Sai Circle, guided by Master himself, we are very good, very blessed that we kind of understand this as part of our own learnings in this journey with the Swami. Even having understood this, it will take a long time to internalize this learning. And that again, if you look at even in Sai organization, we will have only maybe 50%, because I'm telling it from my personal experience. I'll explain why I feel so. So only 50% really internalize this learning of our journey to our life's journey, life's purpose to divinity. So only small percent understand this. And looking at myself, though my grandfather is ardent devotee of Bhagwan, but my father is not so much into Sai. He's a very noble religious person, but he's not so much into Sai. And hence, Swami activities per se at our home is rather limited. And I'll, as uncle requesting, I'll try mixing a little bit of Telugu also in this. I'm from Andhra, I can speak Telugu, but in this gathering, you have people from Chennai as well as Andhra joining it. So I will try mixing the language to be convenient for all of you. So my father, so because of that, we don't have so much of Sai activity per se at home. But however, mother is through grandfather's influence. She is a devotee of Swami, and we used to help her, taking her to bhajans once a while. But however, beyond that, not much of significant impact of Swami, I would say, in our early life. But so if you look at why this awareness is important for me, though my grandfather is ardent devotee of Bhagwan, it took 45 years to possibly understand and realize the meaning of purpose of life. So that long it takes for somebody where Swami has already come into the family through grandfather. Right, and hence this is a very, hence I said that it takes a long time to understand and internalize this purpose of life. So it took 45 years, and how do we get that awareness? Thankfully, the master chooses and master gives us that awareness. How does it happen? So let me narrate a few instances on how I kind of was forced to move into Swami fold. And as uncle said, I've kind of got a great opportunity to be part of such Sai Seva Kendra formation. And I would say it's an opportunity to be part of that mission of Swami wanted to have that mandir here. And he gave an opportunity for me to be part of the mission. Right. And so, as I said, when I was blissfully ignorant of what all that, but Swami has a master mission, and he chooses each one of us in his own way to be part of his mission. So possibly he gave that opportunity to me for the reasons that he only knows. And while that mission carries out, his major objective, the main objective, the mission is he anyway can get that done to anybody. He can inspire anyone and then form that mandir. But he gives us an opportunity because he wants us to realize, he wants me to realize what is the purpose of life and how do I move, how does he help me to move forward for that understanding. Right. So when I was blissfully ignorant of all this, and only Swami is there in a picture, and I used to take my mother to bhajans once a while, but he has to do extra work to make me to take steps towards that mission that he had, or plan, that divine plan that he has of forming the Kendra here. So I go back long way back to 1991. I did my graduation in engineering from Guntur. Gunturlo BTech chesanu. Then I wanted to do post graduation. MTech. And in our university, we had, there are only two kinds of people typically, because getting jobs just after graduation in the private engineering college is not easy. It was not easy those days. So there are only two options for us. ఒకటి, go and do masters, that is MTech. So that will take about 2 years. The 2 years will give enough time for us to search for a job outside, or go abroad and do masters overseas. So 50% of the students typically by abroad really masters cheddam chestaru. Balance 50% who don't have that economical background look for doing masters in India. So my university lo 50% lo, then we have a kind of strong view that we should do masters somewhere outside South India, because we were born and brought up in Guntur, so all the communication used to be in Telugu, and we believe that only if you move out of comfort zone, language నేర్చుకునే అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. So that's why we used to pray and look for opportunities outside South India. So within that South India also, Andhra, Tamil Nadu మాత్రం వద్దనుకునేవాడు. ఎందుకంటే అక్కడ తమిళనాడులో ఓన్లీ తమిళ్లో మాట్లాడుతుంటారు, ఆంధ్రాలో తెలుగులో మాట్లాడుతుంది. ఇలా ఇంట్లో ఉంటాం కాబట్టి ఇట్స్ వెరీ డిఫికల్ట్ టు చేంజ్ కన్వర్జేషన్స్ టు ఇంగ్లీష్, అండ్ ఇంగ్లీష్ ఈస్ essential for us to develop, to get into corporate and things like that, right? And so in that purpose, after doing the graduation, we wanted to do post graduation. Very clear that we want to do outside South India, Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Bangalore, I know, but not in Andhra. But look at that is the state of mind, and Swami has no significant drive in me at that time. But Swami kind of has his plan clear, and he wants obviously me to come to Chennai, because this Kendra is in Chennai, and the formation of this is the starting steps happened way back in 1998. So for me to get there, then the only option is to come to Tamil Nadu, Chennai, which I was blissfully ignorant, obviously. The life is at that time all about going and doing masters, and that's what I was looking for. So I applied for all universities outside Andhra, Tamil Nadu selectively, and needless to say, attended interviews in multiple places, Varanasi, Bangalore, Allahabad. Obviously didn't get admission anywhere. And the time is running out. I was also worried, because if you don't do post graduation, then again you have to be at home, add more pain to father, who kind of already spent a lot of money educating me for graduation. So because of that, then I was looking for that, and there was at that time another advertisement came on Tamil Nadu for Coimbatore. There is a university that is looking for PG. In addition to a couple of more universities, there are only last 3 options that I had. One in Tamil Nadu and 2 others in other universities outside, in North. And so I applied for Tamil Nadu, thinking that, okay, let me keep it as a plan B. I will not get, I don't want to go there, but as a plan B, let me keep that option. And అది రాకపోతే, అది ఇంకేది రాకపోతే తప్పదు, ఇంకా అది ఎలా చేయాల్సి వస్తుంది అనే ఉద్దేశంతో I applied for it. So I got again admission call letter only from this Tamil Nadu University, all those 3 universities. So it is almost destined to come to Tamil Nadu, but still the mind does everything possible. So as I said, when master chooses, master gives you that awareness, and master makes you do even if you are not ready for that, right? And so I got this call letter from Coimbatore that came on say Monday evening around 5ish that came. The interview was on Wednesday. So hardly any time is there, right? And from Guntur to come to Coimbatore, you have to go to Vijayawada. From Vijayawada, there used to be one train which goes at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, reaches Coimbatore by 6 o'clock, so that 6-7 o'clock, so I can attend that interview. But because this came too late, it came too late. So Adi, I couldn't decide to go ahead with that interview, because I came in the evening. Reservation లేకుండా ప్రయాణాలు చాలా కష్టం. So with that no reservation, వెళ్ళటానికి ఆబ్వియస్లీ తమిళనాడు అండ్ దీని మీద ఇంట్రెస్ట్ లేకపోవడంతో ఐ డెంట్ వాంట్ టు మూవ్ టేక్ దట్ ఆప్షన్ అట్ ఆల్. సో లెట్ మీ సీ వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్ అండ్ సో ఐ ఇగ్నోర్డ్ ఇట్. సో నెక్స్ట్ డే మార్నింగ్ 10 o'clock happily had my lunch and then resting at home because my graduation was over. They were looking for opportunities for post graduation. So then one distant relative came to my house. I know then he almost pushed me to get out of my bed and then go and attend this interview. Doesn't matter whether you get it or not, whether you want to join it or so, not secondary. Interview వచ్చి ఇంట్లో కూర్చున్నందుకు go అని చెప్పి, so he literally forced me to go. And విజయవాడ నుంచి ఇప్పుడు మీకు అందరికీ తెలుసు గుంటూరు నుంచి విజయవాడ అంటే ఇట్స్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ అబౌట్ ఇన్ దోస్ డేస్ 91 it takes 1.5 hours by bus. And we used to live in Krishnanagar in Guntur. అక్కడి నుంచి బస్ తీసుకొని బస్ స్టాండ్ నుంచి ఒక బస్ తీసుకొని మళ్ళీ 1 hour 1.5 hours లో విజయవాడ వెళ్ళి విజయవాడ నుంచి ట్రైన్ అనుకోవాలి. So we had he pushed me, so I had kind of packed up my bag, and because of his push, came out, went to bus stand, went to Vijayawada from Guntur, 1.5 hours. So I started around 11ish. By around 1ish, I was there in Vijayawada station. So the train was late, but then when I went to the station and bought the ticket, they told me that the train was late by around 6 hours. So which means that instead of the train coming at around 4 o'clock, it comes at 2 o'clock, it comes by around 8 o'clock. That means that you will only reach by next day 12 o'clock. By then admission would be over. There's no point in going to Coimbatore at all. This is the common sense, right? Why do you want to go all the way to Coimbatore when you don't get to the admission? Anyway, it's in Tamil Nadu, so there's no point in going. That was what was mind was to me. So happily kind of took, said, okay, it will not work out, and then returned home. Again from Vijayawada bus stand, Guntur bus stand, then back home, another 2 hours. I came home by around 3 o'clock. And to my bad or my surprise, that relative was still there at home. His house is very nearby, and he never stays at our house for that long. And he's still there at that time. Mali intlo Narayana, then he said, why did you come back? Then I told him that this is what had happened. My father and mother were there at home. My brother was working in Bapatla, he was not there. And they didn't have anything to say, but this man, was again after me. Said, then you have to go. If time is late, if it goes next day 12 o'clock, I'll send a telegram to the college saying the trains are running late. You go and attend somehow. So look at this, my situation. And again, I had some tea and again started. 3 o'clock, I was at home. Again started, again 3:30, back Guntur bus stand, Vijayawada bus stand, and then station, another 2 hours. So I reached there around 5:30. The train was announced to be late. It will come around 8 o'clock, but they picked up possibly some speed, and then the train eventually landed around 6 o'clock to the Vijayawada station. So that those days were Ayyappa days, and Sabarimala, lot of travelers Sabarimala వెళ్తూ ఉండేవాళ్ళు. అందుకని then the train was fully packed, no room, కాలు పెట్టడానికి స్థలం లేని పొజిషన్. So our situation lo, then again I said, okay, how do I travel? Forget reservation, forget having a seat. There is no place to even enter. It's jam packed. People are hanging in general bogie. There was no reservations. I had to get into general bogie. So general bogie people were hanging to the foot door మీద పట్టుకొని వేలాడుతున్నారు. So Adi, it was impossible for me to get into. Then again I wanted to go back home. Again, I was worried about this uncle again, the relative again. What would he do? So I said, look, this is enough, and whatever happens, I have to go. So I kind of somehow managed to get into the train. I got into a reserved bogie. There was a small place near the toilets to kind of stand. Once again, So I got into the train lo alane 16 and almost 14-16 hours journey. I was almost kind of sitting, standing there itself, and somehow managed to reach Coimbatore. And by the time I went, finding the university also, it was a bit of pain because the place is new and I didn't know Tamil. English speaking also is not so good for myself and even people to understand and respond. అది తెలీదు అందుకని సో finally I managed to reach the university with great difficulty by around 12 o'clock. Okay, by then the university had finished the admission process. It was post graduation computer science, ME computer science లో 10 seats ఉంటాయి యూనివర్సిటీలో. ఆ 10లో 7 reservations. Then balance is 3 open quota. So they have finished the selection process and they put all the 3 names. Obviously, I went late. By then, Mugurni selected. That list was prepared. It was kept in head of the department's table for him to sign and close the matter. So while this process is happening, even head of the department met these people, these 3 and all 10 people are selected. I am considered. But meanwhile, he got a call from principal, so he went to meet the principal. After that, this episode came up, I going there, and then they kind of calculated the scores again. My name happens to be third in that list. So the guy just 1 mark above that, the third person who are already selected. So then they said, look, they cannot do this. Let their head of department come and check this and then decide. So after I went, after half an hour, head of the department. Then he said, look, I didn't sign the paper, so 3 names, e time lo, whoever is top 3 in this list, only those I can select. So he removed third person's name and put my name and completed the admission process. It became a big issue that the third person, the unfortunate person, who's kind of thinking that he's almost there in the admission, but unfortunately, head of the department decided the other way. I nearly principal complained, but principal said head of the department decision was final. So I happened to get that seat and then joined that university in Tamil Nadu reluctantly. It was almost cursing. So why it has to happen? So I joined Tamil Nadu. The story didn't get over there, and then 1.5 year education. So I said, okay, at least after education, let me go and get a job outside Tamil Nadu, Andhra. So as it happens, whatever attempt you make, it will not work out because his will prevails. Okay, so Avidanga, then I got a finally only job I got after my post graduation is with TCS in Chennai. So forced to come to Chennai again reluctantly. Didn't have any interest to come, but it's at least got a job. Right, it's a big thing. And getting a job and then settling in life is a big thing in those days. So got a job, so got to reach to Chennai. So why I'm saying all this entire narration is that when he decides, when his will prevails, that he somehow, for whatever reason, for me to move forward in my journey, he wanted me to be part of this Chennai, in Chennai, live in Chennai. Only then I can contribute to his mission possibly. And that's how he put me in Chennai, and that started working in Chennai. And this first step to form this Sathya Sai Seva Kendra happened in 1998 when I had opportunity to take the first step. I don't want to kind of elaborate further, but the first step till 1998, I was in UK for some time, came back to Chennai, working in Chennai. And I did again 1 more attempt to buy an apartment, and that didn't work out. But finally, in 1998, the first step that is required to form the Kendra was done, and then he left. Immediately after that, 1998, we finished this step to form the Kendra, that is procure the place. And at that time, no Kendra was in mind. It is my house, my plot, and type of thing. And then I didn't have enough money also. My brother also supported me in that. Finally, we kind of did this in now around August-September timeframe in 98. And just after that, I got a job in Bangalore and of Chennai. So that is the part 1 part of it. And why is it important? Again, relating back to all these things that had happened, it is, again, for him, it really, his mission continues. Whether you are there, I am there, whoever is there. But he wants to give us an opportunity so that we kind of move forward in our journey by carrying out his work, as his instrument. Right. And so when he felt that it is done, then he left me. So I went to Bangalore, I then traveled to other parts, and then it went on till around 2006, when again the call comes back for me to come back to Chennai. Right. And in 1988, I went to Bangalore, and then I was in Australia for some time. And then 2006, when I was looking for a job, when I wanted to change my job, and I was looking for a job, and those days it is relatively easy to get jobs because I had 8 years experience. But believe me, it's the only job again that I got there is in Chennai. So it was literally again a push for me to come back to Chennai. And rest is history and the formation. I'll talk more about the Kendra and what all happened. The Kendra construction ki daniki jarigina adbhuta vishayalanni, then I will cover that in subsequent parts. So the first part that I wanted to tell you is the awareness part, the awareness that the purpose of life is different. And while we go through that, as you see, 40 years ago, then I never felt that there is a larger purpose for purpose life, where all I was doing is whatever things that are required for me to lead a normal life. But in that itself, he has to intervene and he has to guide without whether you are ready or not, whether you are prepared for it or not. He has to do that. So, in that process, so getting that awareness of that purpose, Swami did all that, and it is true for each one of you. Man ikkada attend avutuna prati okkaliki kuda, that Swami had come into their lives either directly, indirectly, or through dreams, or through parents, grandparents, etc. Right? Every manlo unna andarki ippudu unna join andarki he was an instrument, and without his will, ఆయన సంకల్పం లేకుండా మనం ఆయన ఫోల్డ్లోకి అడుగు పెట్టలేం. Right. And so I kind of want to use this opportunity, and again, మనందరం ఇప్పుడు అటెండ్ అయిన అందరం ఒక్క నిమిషం కళ్ళు మూసుకొని just thank the person that introduced Swami to you, because only through that introduction you are able to be part of such a organization, and thereby have this awareness of life's purpose is much larger than doing our own things. Right? So with that intent, I request everybody to just close your eyes once and just thank the person. It could be your grandfather, it could be parents, it could be grandparents, it could be your brother, relative, or it could be anyone, or it could be Swami himself coming into you directly and guiding you, whichever way. But that is through which you got into this awareness of life's purpose. So to just reflect on that, close your eyes. Just take a minute. Thank that person that introduced Swami to you. Swami introduced చేసిన వాళ్ళకి ఒకసారి థ్యాంక్స్ చెప్తున్నా. So with that my first part of what I wanted to tell, I explained, which is around the broader piece around the awareness of this. And for us, mana Swami fold lo unna vallandariki, it is Swami himself creating that awareness, whether you are ready for it or not. Right? That happened in my life. I seen that. And awareness in the complex topic, and it took 45 years for me to get to that awareness, even after going through all this, to really know that life's purpose is a journey to divinity and internalize that in mind. It takes that line, and still we are all sadhaks going through that path, and there's a lot more for us to learn, and Swami gives these opportunities for us to learn. The second part then I'll deep dive on is on the The first element, Swami said there was two steps to get to divinity or to realize the divinity. First step is the unity. Unity of what? Unity of thought, word, and action. But again, this every Balvika student, if you ask anybody, immediately will answer. But it is very, very difficult for an outsider like me to understand this part. So thought, word, and action alignment is extremely important for you to move forward, for us to move forward in spiritual journey. Why is it important? And if you look at again, look at the world, majority of the people or even in Sai organization, a lot of us find it very, very difficult to have complete alignment of thought, word, action. Good or bad is secondary, but just having alignment, thinking something and telling that and doing exactly that without consequences, without any fear, is extremely chala kashtam. Right, and that alignment is essential for us to move forward in the journey, in Swami journey, in our life journey. So Adi, the reason why that alignment is important is that in corporate world it is called integrity, right? You or walk the talk, they say, or say do ratio. Very, very important, because we see in in the youth or even grown up, and you can see by design all the chaos that happens in the outside world, or the difficult things that happen in the outside world. All that, the cause of that is complete misalignment of thought, word, and action, lack of unity in oneself. Right, and Swami Cheppinatlu, Swami in those days, if you look at Rama time low, then it is the entire bad used to be in one part of the world, and which is Lanka, and so Rama's purpose is to go and kill Ravana and kill the bad. Similarly, if you come to Krishna, the purpose, the Pandavas and Kauravas happen to be in the same family, and bad is in one side, good is in the other side, and so Krishna can go and make Kurukshetra happen and kill Kauravas and let the good prevail. Whereas in Kali Yuga, human world, everything is in us. So good, bad, ugly, best, everything is in one's mind. So the transformation that Swami can bring is only through the transforming the individual. Only when the individual gets transformed, the world can get transformed. So that is a complex mission that Swami has. So in that mission, if the individual has to move forward, then this unity is very, very important. So alignment is important, thought, word, action. And it's not just the alignment, it also, so for example, if you look at very successful people, you have the complete alignment, but for a wrong cause, right? Look at the terrorists that destroy the world, right? They're fully aligned. They think about whatever the beliefs that they have, and they speak about it, and they go and do this. That alignment is fully there, but still, that it doesn't mean that it is good. So the good, the alignment that has to happen is that you have to have good thought, good word, and good action. Only then one can transform, and that will put a seed for the transformation. Marpuki, adi important. So that alignment, how alignment of good thought, good word, good action, adi avalante, the best way, again, in our Swami Circle, the best way is have God thoughts. So it can be again any belief system. Swami Circle, Swami Dwara Ochindi, but it is true for anybody, be Christian, be Muslim, be any belief system that you have, doesn't matter. But having good thought, good word, good action, alignment can only come, or can come very effectively through God thoughts. God thoughts lead to good thoughts. Okay, so దీని కోసం ఈ alignment with unity, to achieve this unity, again one has to put all your effort to get this alignment in place. So in my journey, then for us, the best thing that Swami had done is that Swami has actually formed an organization, Satsai Seva organizations, for you to, where this alignment happens naturally. Right? You come and attend bhajan, 1 hour bhajan. You kind of think of God, pray God, do bhajans, claps, or enjoy the bliss of the bhajan. In that 1 hour, we are fully aligned. God thoughts, good words, good actions. So you're completely aligned for that unity and achieve that unity of thought, word, action in that bhajan. Similarly, you do service, right? And when you go and serve people, and that's why it's the beauty of the Sai organizations, Sai Seva organization, is that Swami says it doesn't matter whom you serve. It actually doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They don't need you're not going to solve world's hunger problem. They don't need your service. But the service, importance of Swami's organization, service is helping us to transform. Manalni marchadam kosame aa service. So when you do service, again in that period, you have complete alignment of good thinking, good thoughts, good words, and good actions, and thereby helping you to fully align and achieve unity in your thought, word, action. So every activity that we do in Sai organization helps us in doing that. So in my life, again, as I said, long part of my early life, kind of never had any direct interest to be part of Sai organization. But towards the later part, after 98, I happened to kind of live near Nandanam after my marriage, and then we used to go to bhajans just to enjoy the bliss of attending bhajans in Sundaram. You kind of observe that Sundaram bhajans have transformed many families. అందులో మా family. So that bhajans has profound impact on our lives. Listening to those bhajans, beautiful singers those days and even now, and beautiful bhajans. You are Sandler Kuchani. My kids have grown up through that. Sandler Kuchani, our bhajans will do. Then you completely kind of immerse in God thoughts, and which again makes a huge impact. And that 1 hour, half an hour that you spend in Swami activity makes a huge impact to the rest of the time. And that time is what is helping us to achieve this unity in our entire life. Half an hour of bhajan or 1 hour of bhajan that you participate in that week charges you for the entire week. And then it will make you as much as possible aligned to that thought, word, action in your lives too. Right? It could be anything. It could be as simple as that. You say that your kid that you will do something, will you be able to do it or not? Thought, word, action alignment. You tell your boss in your work that you will do certain activity by certain time, are you able to deliver that? You tell your servant that you will do something for them and then are you able to do that or not? Misalignment will never lead us to the next step, which is purity. That's my personal experience. Misalignment of thought, word, action. So you tell something but don't do, or you think something good but you don't do. All that misalignment doesn't help us to move forward in our spiritual journey. So alignment is important. I'll tell you again a couple of examples of how Swami creates that environment for you to be part of that. So suppose if that 1 hour is important to join bhajan, దానికోసం మనం ఆ సంకల్పం మనం చేద్దాం అనుకునేటైతే Swami will create everything possible for you to participate in that act. Only thing required is mind లో వెళ్దాం అనుకోవడం. సో వెరీ సింపుల్ థింగ్. భజనకి వెళ్దాం అనుకున్న తర్వాత జరిగేదంతా he will take care. Right? I'll tell you a few very, very interesting examples, couple of examples, again to stress upon the point that unity is important. Unity happens in the workshop that Swami created, Sai Seva organizations, where each one of us get opportunity. అందులో then you kind of help to transform yourself, to align, to have that unity of thought, word, action. So I'll give 2 examples. One example happened in one of my overseas trip. I went to a place called Lille near Paris. Okay, in that place, that is kind of about a 1 hour train journey from Paris. And our location low, then it is there is no Sai, there's no Swami activities, something like those days. I used to make a point that in any place I go, our weekend Swami actively participate just mountain and so I used to make attempt to go there, you know, to attend such activities. In that place there was nothing. There was no vegetarian food outside. సో మేము ఇంటి నుంచి తీసుకు ఒక నెల రోజులు ఉండాల్సి వచ్చింది నాకు ఆఫీస్లో ప్రాజెక్ట్ వర్క్ కోసం. ఆ నెల రోజుల్లో ఇన్ దట్ 1 month we took obviously for పొజిషన్ తెలుసు కాబట్టి we took required items from home. ఒక 2 weeks లో ఐటమ్స్ అన్ని అయిపోయినాయి. And there was no vegetarian food, so we used to live on French fries and potato and tomatoes, vegetables, etc. Vegetables, because there's nothing else to cook. There's no place to cook it at the hotel. So at one situation, then we were kind of then obviously Swami is completely missing. No bhajans every Sunday. Typically, that is our lifestyle to attend those bhajans because that's what matters. So then the group decided that let's go to Paris. Paris of 1 hour drive. So let's go and visit Paris and Paris all places. Then the group had decided. So we all have joined together. And by then I visited Paris once, but I thought this could be an opportunity to at least find a Sai center in Paris and attend Sai activity, bhajan on Sunday. Then I started searching. I found a place in Paris, in a remote place, where that group that is there, that run that Sai center was a French group, and some of Tamilians also were there because Pondicherry used to have a lot of French influence. So there are a lot of third generation Indians there in that place who kind of moved to Paris to this French influence. Our center run Indians by culture, but however they speak Tamil or French. So English to also, even it was difficult, they managed to kind of understand where that place is. And then he said, okay, you have to change 3 trains, and from this station, going by cab etc. is very, very costly. So Adigundu cab taxi train lo ellali, train lo ellalante oka 3 stations datali. Central Paris Central దగ్గర నుంచి 3 trains you have to change to go to that place. And those trains used to have numbers, number 7, number 6, number 5, like that. Paris again is a place where English doesn't work so much. France basically. So we all came to Paris station from Lille place, the town where we were living. Paris kochi, Paris దగ్గర నుంచి we all the group wanted to do sightseeing, so they all booked the sightseeing tickets and there. Then the Swami center plan, then I didn't go with them. Then I kind of tried finding out where the station is, where this first train I had to take. It was impossible. I roamed around half an hour, the place pronunciation for whatever reason, and the number concept itself is not there in my mind. Though he said some numbers, I didn't know what those numbers are because his English was broken. And he was mixing Tamil and English. My Tamil was broken, so net it's a disaster. So Adi used cheskoni, but anyway, then it didn't work out. Half an hour we tried, and 2 weeks of starving again because food was not there. Whatever that potato and French fries combination we were surviving. Paris station kochi, then I lost my energy and patience. Then I said, fine, it did not work out. Let me take the same sightseeing trip అంటే ఒక 30 euros తో టికెట్ కొంటే ఆ బస్ తిప్పుతూ ఉంటారు ప్యారిస్ టు ఎక్కడికంటే అక్కడ దిగి ఆ ప్లేస్ చూసుకొని యూ కెన్ మూవ్ ఫార్వర్డ్ ఇన్ దట్. సో అలా దెన్ ఐ వెంట్ అరౌండ్, took the ticket 30 euro, got into bus so that you can sit in a AC bus. The bus will keep going around. Wherever there's a good hotel, Indian hotel comes, then I get down, eat some food. And then I've already seen Eiffel Tower and other. I didn't have patience to go all there. So with that plan, till evening I had to pass time. I was not able to go to Sai Center. I had to pass time till the group comes back, so all of us go back home. So ఆ ఉద్దేశంతో బస్సులో కూర్చున్నాను. Then it went around for half an hour, 45 minutes. Then I thought, okay, I'll get down somewhere and then have some food. So I got down in one place. There was no mobile phones and all that. So anything that you have to talk, you have to put some coins in a coin phone and talk to these guys. And so I was doing that and got down in one place thinking that there will be some hotel. Then I was walking around, there was a station nearby. Right, so then I went to that station. A station there local friendly. Then anyway, he said 2-3 numbers. Numbers గుర్తున్నాయి, 4, 7, 10 ఏదో 3 numbers చెప్పాడు. ఆ 3 numbers గుర్తున్నాయి. So I said, okay, let me go and see what is there any way you can find out this. So I went into that station, and the station happened to be the last station that will take you to Sai Center. Again, see that it is how Swami brings everything together so that you can move forward. So the last station, we put out 10th, train number 10 enter, train number 10 starts from that station. It goes to that place where that brother said about Sai Center. So I took that train happily, and then went to that place. From the station. I had to walk for about 10 minutes. I don't know what I kind of inquired and what people told me, but net 15-minute walking after reaching the destination, I was there in the Sai Center. That day, the group there was performing the Laksharchana, Swami Archana. And believe me, they were so happy seeing me. A person came all the way from India, and Paris Nunchi almost 3 hours trouble this story, but he came to that. They felt that Swami sent me there. They're so happy, and they did Harti, and I did everything. They asked me to do Archana, do Harti, etc. All that I did, and then again after that they had a feast, vegetarian feast, lunch. So 2 weeks I was starving, no food, no good food, and that day complete vegetarian food, the Tamilian full meal, and so kind of that happened, and then the brother there said, okay, no, you can't go alone. I will drop you to the station. He brought me back to the station, and nearby the station there was a Sarana Bhavan, and there was an Indian store. So he took me to both the places, asked me to pack everything that I need, that is required for next 2 weeks, and then left me to go back to my place. Meanwhile, my friends also came, and again look at that whole thing around. Why is it required? When you want to be part of the Sai Center, so for 1 hour, 2 hours to the bhajans, and he'll address every other thing that is required for you to have state of mind and facility, logistics, everything is taken care so that you go and participate there. Your food issue is sorted out, you got everything, all that is taken care. And the larger purpose of that again is that what Swami gets by me attending that bhajan that day. But the more importantly, that the entire group that was attending, they were so happy that for participating that, and they have somebody coming from India and doing Aarti with them. We're participating with them. They are so happy. It's the one part. And the second part is for us, again, as I said, unity is important. And for that unity, Swami's Sai Center is a workshop that will help us to achieve that unity. And whoever wants to go to the workshop, no matter what happens, he will help us. There is no question of you don't get time, you don't know how to go, you don't have a vehicle to go, or you're preoccupied with work and hence you can't go. All that reasons are just keep it aside, and then say, okay, Swami, I want to go and participate in your activity today. He will provide everything for us to participate in that. Thereby, in that 1 hour, again, you charge and it will put a seed for transformation in you to move forward in your life. So that is the important part of this example of me attending this center. One more instant I want to narrate. I hope we have enough time. Yeah. So I'll narrate one more instance and then I'll quickly move on to the third topic of purity. That's the one more narration. So this happened again in when I went to Bangalore. I went to Bangalore to attend my brother's housewarming session ceremony, and the same day we agreed we scheduled our anniversary of Sholingananda, Satsai Samiti Sholingananda. We just formed the Samiti at that time, and then there's a second anniversary for our center. So I wanted to definitely participate in the center anniversary. So we all went to brother's place for the housewarming. From there, we wanted to come back to that. So my family, wife and daughter and son, they came back early, previous day night by train, so that they can be part of this. But I had to be part of that ceremony for one more day. So the next day only they asked, I was allowed to come back from Bangalore to Chennai. So I booked a flight ticket. Flight is at 5 o'clock. The expectation is that by 6 I kind of reach Chennai, 6:30, and half an hour drive. 6:30 I'll be at the program, and some of you are part of the program also. So 6 o'clock ki program ko vastanu. So 6:30 program ko vastanu. And program starts at 6 o'clock, so half an hour late is okay. Because this was my plan. So that day, the day I wanted to kind of travel the next day for the flight, which starts at 5 o'clock. Bangalore traffic. So we used to, this house is at the Marthandi, and this place is at Marthandi. And from there to go to the airport, if you know the Bangalore traffic, that was a Sunday luckily. Even then it will take about 1.5 hours. Normal traffic, with less traffic, 1.5 hours. Peak traffic, like 2.5 hours. So 1.5 hours means that to catch flight, you have to be stay at the airport at 4 o'clock. So you start typically around 2-ish. So after lunch, you need to start there at 2 o'clock to reach the airport. And at 2 o'clock, booked a cab, and the cab didn't come for some reason. The strike or some reason they said, and it didn't come. So the time was running out to 2:30, 3 o'clock. I had to be airport at 4 o'clock. So 3 o'clock, I was still at home, and luckily at that time, my brother's relatives came. They bought a car, and another cab was coming to Marthali, so just to Marthali. And imagine this, in Bangalore traffic, flight is at 5 o'clock. If you don't go to airport and check in by 4:15, they don't allow you to the airport. I didn't even have boarding pass because I wanted to do online check-in, and that also in this hurry, all that was stopped. And from there, Marthali Nunchi, then somehow I took the cab. And in the cab, I did my check-in, but I still need the boarding pass. And without boarding pass, that hard copy, print out lakapothe, then you can't get into the airport. So you kind of put everything on Swami and then say, look, this has to happen because we want attending Swami function is #1 priority. Everything else is secondary. Right, and so Avali, Vellali, Swami previous, then I didn't even know how time passed by. 4 o'clock airport to Sindhi, then I was still traveling somewhere around Marthali by around towards Yelahanka by around 4 o'clock. And then this printout that I had, I sent to some friend, and the friend had a contact in the airport. So somebody printed that thing waiting for me at the gate. And I went there, I reached the airport at 4:45. Imagine any airport anywhere in India, allowing you to get into the flight at 4:45 is impossible. Right, and so the person who took the printout for me, he was waiting at the gate. I didn't even thank him, just grabbed the printout. I don't know how the security got cleared, etc., etc. I went, by the time I realized I am in the aeroplane, 5 minutes before the departure. Right, and then they closed the door, and then they left me, and they came back and attended the program as planned. So impossible by any normal situation, but if you look at that day, the entire sequence of events, how it happened, and how I got into that and reached that. Again, to reiterate that it's not again what does Swami get by me attending the program, doesn't matter. It is for me. So wanted to do that, and Swami says, look, if you want to do good thing, it will happen. His will prevails, and everything else is second. Everything else has to happen. There's no other option. So in that manner, I attended the program, the anniversary program. It was a beautiful program, and it was again. If you look back, what is the reason? What is the purpose of the program? Purpose of the program is not to enjoy the program, but the 2 hours of unity, of thought, word, action. Swami's thoughts, Swami's bhajans, Swami's discussions, and his actions, being Narayan Sabha, everything that we do in that is extremely important for one to move forward again in the spiritual journey. So that's the second example that I want to narrate about this. So leaving the unity part, as I said, this is extremely important, thought, word, action alignment. Not just in Sai organization, not just in not only for the spiritual progress, even for personal progress in your own jobs, in your own lives, in families. It is extremely important that we have that alignment of thought, word, action. And the Swami's Sai centers will give that opportunity. If any of you, and I know all of you are ardent devotees and very strong followers of Swami, but if there is any one of you who doesn't kind of get time or convenience or logistics for attending that, just put it on Swami for this week. Participate in that 1 hour activity, because that is extremely important in life. I've seen that for myself. Right, and so that is the second part of unity. And the last part of the discussion today is on the purity. So Swami said there are the 2 steps to divinity. One is unity by attending all Sai activities regularly, then it will help you to have that unity. And then the next part is purity. Purity is the seed for transformation. And manlo marpu ravataniki, aa purity ravataniki, whatever the unity and attending Sai activities will help you to bring that to purification in each one of us. So purity is about everything that Swami teaches us. Right? Swami example is, Swami himself is an example of that complete purity with love. Right, and I will give again some couple of instances, examples, because this is so essential that all the work that we do in Sai organization, while we achieve the unity, it has to, adi final ga, it has to transform us. Manlo marpu ravali, manlo purification ravali, purification so that the divine spark can come in us. Adi ravataniki, that's why Swami says purity is essential element after unity to achieve the divinity or to realize the divinity. And that is a long journey. It may take a number of births for us to get the complete purity. Right. So how do you say, so what is purity? That then for us, again, our mind has to, it doesn't need the complex scriptures to understand that Swami's life is an example for us to understand what this purity is about. So then I'll now come to our Kendra, Sathya Sai Seva Kendra. As I said, I'm kind of very, very blessed that part of that core team that was instrumental for bringing up Sri Sathya Sai Seva Kendra in Sholinnagar. Jagran Uncle, myself, Murali Mohan Uncle, and a few others that have really helped us or formed team together to do this. When we started this Kendra, and again, we don't have any very strong financial backing, right? We are not, luckily we have a place where we can form this, because this was, Swami made us to procure this way back in 98 at very, very lesser price. So if you had to buy that in these days, it would cost maybe about 70, 80 lakhs, which is impossible to do. Right, and those days it was so cheap, and we were able to procure that. But now, after agreeing to form this, we didn't have adequate financials to start this the center itself. So in Swami's world, the purity that what Swami talks about is, it is not purely spiritual. It is about perfection. It is about doing things in right way. And you see that Swami work, nothing can go wrong. There cannot be anybody pointing out fingers that, okay, this is the wrong thing. And whatever is law of land has to be followed. Right, and so purity ki adoka tatkaram, and you see how it happens, right? And so we had this place, Kendra. The couple of instances I will give you again to give you beautiful explanation around how Swami kind of takes us, helps us to understand what this purity is all about. Okay, so perfection. First thing is that this place, when you have to do, it cannot be unofficial, right? It can't have any bribes associated with it. It can't have wrongdoings. It can't have money collection done incorrectly, which means that every rupee that we get to form the Kendra has to be hard-earned money officially given to the trust. So that's how it is. The Kendra was built. Right, and initially when we kind of wanted to build this, as Uncle also said, I kind of built my house. The front Swami's Mandir was there, so that place was kept as for the trust, Sai organizations. And then behind, I had to build my house to stay. And so this formation of this Kendra has a procedure, right? And the land has to be registered under Sai Seva Trust. and they have to approve that, and then only I can start the construction. So we thought we can start the construction of our house in parallel meanwhile. So house construction కోసం ఈ స్వామి ల్యాండ్ అని ఓపెన్ ల్యాండ్ గా ఉంచేసేసుకొని then we prepared a plan and we submitted for approval. It months passed by, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, no sign of approval. We didn't understand what was the reason. Approval in the approval and basically we had planned to build a house, my house, the ground floor, and one more portion on the first floor. Adi plan. So Adi apply in the then we are not getting approval at all. And my builder is a very kind of known person in the circle. He was trying and he said it will come, but it didn't come. Meanwhile, my registration work got open. Registration lo goda have very nice miracle happened that I'll explain that. The Swami Center land registration అయిపోయింది, అది ట్రస్ట్ కి ఇచ్చేసాం. ఆ తర్వాత then we applied for the plan approval for the కేంద్ర. ఈ కేంద్ర కూడా దానికి సంబంధించిన ప్లాన్ కూడా అప్రూవల్ కి ఇచ్చాం. So then we realized that when they came to approve this plan, they said, look, we can't approve this plan because you are planning to build a house on the ground floor. You don't have parking space, and we wanted to use the passage to my house as a parking space. They said officially it is not allowed. So you have to change your plan or to change Kendra plan. You can't give this to Kendra to build another house here. You have to keep it as a vacant land, or you change your plan and you build your house upstairs and put a car parking place in the basement or the ground floor. So you see that is mandatory for us to kind of do this. And but we have applied for the plan. Had the plan approval came, then the whole thing would have got completely messed up. So purity is about perfection. As I said, Swami work has to be perfect. It can't have ifs and buts. And so that it took some, again, we kind of took the plan back and reworded it and put a new plan with my house in the first floor and ground floor is vacant for parking. And then they approved house plan as well as Swami Center plan, and both constructions have started. And then we figured out where did that plan go, why the approval didn't come for 4 months. And it was the plan apparently was there in some desk somewhere, and nobody kind of saw that plan till this we submitted the new plan for both house and the center, right? And so it is again the learning from there is that the perfection of work that we do, and if you extend that adanne manam Swami work lo chesina perfection, if you extend it to our lives, then the purity starts happening within us. That you don't do any wrong things. You don't do wrong things because Swami doesn't want us to do wrong things. So that is the one example. And another example, during this registration, again, registration of this property on Satsai Trust, there is a beautiful incident that had happened, and we registered this, and the registration fee is typically about 10% of the registered value. And that was again a lot of money. And whereas Satsai Trust, Seva organization, Satsai Trust has that 50% ATCC, with which you can reduce the registration value by 50%. For that, Deputy Collector of Registrations, that is IAS cadre registration officer, has to approve the plan, approve this specific exemption. Exemption approve cheyadaki ayana kavali. So Chagraj uncle was trying to get that exemption from him for we don't know who that person is, but uncle used to go every 2-3 days. No, uncle is a taskmaster. Some of you must be knowing Chagraj uncle. ఏదైనా పని వచ్చిందంటే ఆ పని అయ్యేదాకా వాళ్ళు ప్లానింగ్ చేస్తారు. So he went and sat with them, and every day used to go sit for half an hour. That those people used to have bunch of files, so they used to see uncle about those files and then say, we don't know where your exemption letter is. So they want official exemption letter approved by Register of Registrations, the Collector of Registrations, and only then they can give exemption. So uncle tried that, and then his time came to go to Patti Seva. So he went there praying Swami that, okay, it's already delayed by a few weeks now. The approval didn't come. Till that comes, you can't move forward with the registration. So he went to Patti, and then he got a call in Patti that from Ramani, from Sundaram, that there is one Palani Appan IAS coming to Chennai, coming to Patti from Chennai. So he's IAS cadre person. So please help him to meet him, the comedian. So meet him and take him to darshan and all that. That is after Mahasamadhi. So take him to darshan and take care of him is what he told. Then uncle went met this gentleman, Palniyappan, and then asked, he curiously asked, so he knows that we have some work to be done. So because he's IAS government employee, then possibly he would know the person who will do these registrations, head of registrations. And then he asked him what you do, right? And so then he says that he himself was the authorized to register for that registration. So uncle, then it was like, no, Swami sent him all the way to Patti to kind of help us to do this activity. So uncle said, look, sir, we are planning this Swami's mandir, and we need your support. We kind of this specific certificate is required from you, and please help us. Then he said, no. Then we asked for appointment. After we go back to Chennai, then take your appointment. And he said, no, it's already delayed. I will do it from here itself. So from Patti, he called the required officers. And then the next day, we got that exemption letter, and then we completed the registration process. So again, his activity, when it happens it has to happen properly, and he will enable everything. The universe will come and support us to carry out his work. So that's the one beautiful instance. And third one, another beautiful instance of putting everything together to form the to help us to move forward in the mandir plan. We had to get this Khata certificate, right? Again, when we gave when we finished the registrations and handed over the documents to the trust, they said, so you also need to give the Khata, because only then this is officially transaction is complete. And Khata, getting Khata, I don't know if you have gone to government office and get that, right? To involve money, you have to pay to them, and it will take weeks and months together, right? And again, the same process, go to the office, request them, they'll say, okay, they'll come and do it, etc. Okay, then few days from then, Tyagarajan uncle got a call from his friend in Kanchipura, and he's also part of the disaster management service, Mr. Karthikeyan. So he called uncle and said, Tyagarajan, I'm coming to Chennai. He said, what for? So I got now promoted as Deputy Tahsildar for Sholingalu, whose office is responsible for us to give the Khata. Right, he's coming there, and so I will come and meet you. Then immediately uncle went there. Next week he came down to Sholingalu, took charge. The same day uncle went and met him, and uncle told about this requirement of having Khata for the Kendra. And then I said, look, this is Swami's work, is the first work that I want to do, so let me complete this activity. 24 hours, he has completed everything. They came for inspection. No money paid, obviously. He himself is Sevadar. So he did all that work and then handed over Khata to us within 24 hours, which typically in a government plan happens in weeks. And after that, then again, a week from now, he got a call again from this Karthikeyan side. So he calls uncle and said, Tyagarajan, now I got transferred back to Kanchipura. My work in Sholingalu is over. They want me to come back to Kanchipura. I'm going back. So he came there to Sholingalu as if it's only to do this activity, complete this activity, went off to his own place. So that's a beautiful example in terms of instance of how everything comes into play when you do this activity for Swami. And again, the last example on purity relating to our Kendra. So the Khata came, and then building plan was approved. But to approve the plan, a lot of money is involved, and the builder is approving my plan. So we put all this together. They paid some amount, some 20,000-30,000 rupees to this office, which is a standard process, standard operating procedure for them. No questions asked. They're supposed to pay that so that the work will get done. And that work was over. So the plan approval was in progress. And the builder told me that. I told this to Tyagarajan also, uncle also. And then we felt, okay, it's already done. What can we do except the praying Swami that it happened? And then I was, that Sunday, there was a radio side program. Nimish Patil uncle at the time, he was giving a talk in Manish Pandey. He was AAP now. So sir was talking about his own experience of dharma and purity, doing things in the right way. Right, and then he in his explanation he was telling that in his house he had a 2-floor house, and then he wanted to build staircase inside. For that approval was needed. Obviously, the government wanted, the officials wanted money. So he said, look, I am Sevadal, I cannot pay. And so you take your time, whenever you give approval, I'll build mine. So it took 2 years for him to get the approval, and finally he did that. So that started putting, kind of, we felt bad that, okay, so like that's for his own house, he did that, but for Swami's house, Mandir, we paid money. And how can that happen? So I was thinking about that, and that is on Sunday. Monday morning, I get a call. And then I discussed the same thing with Charles uncle also, and explained the same thing. The Tuesday, Monday morning, we get a call saying the plan is ready. Come and pick up your plan. So we went to Shalinganalu office, corporation office. The guy gave a plan, and then we thanked them. I didn't talk about all this because it was already done, and I also didn't know how to tell them. Who cares? They don't care about all this, and they said this is the process you have to do. And then I took that plan, and then the chief engineer tells me that, okay, now go and meet some assistant engineer in the ground floor. So I went there, and to assistant engineer, he said, okay, plan is given, sir has signed it, so I'm taking this and going, but he asked me to meet. Then he took me out, and then he said, look, I didn't know that he's building this for Sai Center, and we got to know about this through another employee that works in corporation office, but a side DOT. And so we can't take money for such noble projects. And then he handed over 20,000-30,000 that he took back to me and said, look, please, then I asked him, so how do you then manage? He said, look, unfortunately, we are in a system where this has to be done this way. And so they will manage somehow. And I took the money, came back, and then the work happened without any wrongdoing, right? And so that's again another beautiful example of where what does purity from the following the rules perfection standpoint. So that's what Swami kind of teaches us, and it's not to again not just for Swami project. And the idea of all this is that for us to learn from that and apply it in our own lives and be pure, become pure, which is kind of extremely important because after doing all Swami work and you attend bhajans, you attend all these, and then come back home and then start shouting at family members for whatever reason, or shouting at kids for whatever reason, is not something that Swami will like. This is again, whether Swami likes or not is secondary, but for us to move forward, one has to be pure. Pure meaning pure love. It's a light of divinity in all of us. Realize that the light of divinity exists with everyone else that we work with, we live with, and that is the divinity that each one is in their own journey to take part. Once you kind of understand that, then you will start. You will not judge anyone. We'll find reason why any person is behaving in any way, and then we'll move forward with our own lives. And that the purity, if you say, okay, now how do you measure that purity? This is good example. Now, are you doing any wrong things in your life? Purity starts, purity for body. Are you keeping your body pure? Which means that no bad habits, no smoking, no drinking, no non-stimulant. All that is happening to us or not. That again, part of the purification, it is bound to happen. It is, as he says, this journey is inevitable for every creature. And if you don't realize now, one has to realize after years, if not in this life, in the subsequent lives. The realization is absolutely inevitable. So you start purifying yourself from the body standpoint, and then you start purifying your through thought, word, actions. Purification will happen, and that purification has to grow, and that will happen over many years, and if not years, maybe many births, if not birth years. Right, so this is inevitable. It will bound to happen. How do you see the purity, right? And I'm nowhere close to that purity, and it is maybe if you want to kind of measure that, maybe 1% out of the thing that is required for one to be pure. where the love comes naturally, where the willingness to help comes naturally. It's not deliberating because Swami says you do it. It's not like that. It comes naturally, instinctively in one's mind. So good thought happens without any intervention. So that is the purity, and that purity takes a long time, continuous sadhana. And as we hear about this term called constant integrated awareness. Awareness is the first part, we got it. We will get it to know what the purpose of life is. The second part is further that awareness, integrated awareness in terms of thought, word, action, alignment. And then if it is constant, that means every work that we do in our lives, if you have that awareness that this purpose is to move towards divinity, then purification will start happening within us. So to give an example, I was thinking again, say, well, how do you kind of take some examples apart from Swami's example that we talked about. So if you are kind of, if somebody is shouting at you for whatever reason that they believe right, how do you react? Would you shout back, or would you accept what he's doing as his part of his journey and just smile and move forward? And how long it takes to get to that stage? And that's the purification process, the transformation process that we do. Similarly, if suppose somebody is at distress, he reaches out to you to help. That person that they don't know, maybe when you're going by car, somebody stops the car and asks for help. How do you react to that? Now, would you say that, look, people, we cannot believe these people and just ignore them and move forward, or pray Swami to help them out, or help with whatever way possible? The first thought that comes to react to that situation indicate how pure your mind is moving to. That is the purification process, and that takes years for us to get there. Constantly, these Arishad Vardas, Kama, Krodha, Labha, Moha, Madhamacharya, right? All these constantly will keep pulling you back to bodily life. And however, if you constantly work on Swami's activities, constantly keep this in your mind that our journey is much larger than the specific transactions or interactions that we are going through, then the purification is bound to happen over a period of time. That divine light in us will start growing, and that not only grows and helps us to purify, but it will also show the light of love to the others that live with us, that work with us in the society, and we thereby the transformation of the world. That's what the Satsai Seva organization's mission is: transforming self to transforming world. So each of us have to transform ourselves, and then thereby helping the world to transform, and that can only happen through Sri Satsai Seva organization formed by none other than the Lord himself. With that, I will conclude my talk. I don't know whether I've taken longer time, 25. So apologies for taking longer time, but I thank you for patiently listening to me, and thanks, Uncle, and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to reflect on this. And I'm sorry again to speak mostly in English because there are a lot of people in this call, and but it is language of love. When you talk about Swami, language doesn't matter, right? And so I keep recollecting this. Uncle, Abel and Uncle goes to Kannadi Nagar, who don't know anything but Tamil, and takes classes in Balvikas. And what he speaks, what they understand, is all Swami's love, right? And so with that inspiration, and again, thank you all for giving this wonderful opportunity. And I request everybody to kind of make, based on what I said doesn't matter, but what you pick up is most important. Out of this I talked about, if you can pick up one or two and then help to get this awareness, to kind of do personal sadhana to achieve unity, and then personal sadhana extend further to bring in purity in yourself and with your families, the world will get transformed to a great place to live. Jai Sai. Uncle, you can unmute your phone now.
Saira Venkat, beautiful, fantastic, inspiring personal experience, adding to the purpose of the life, the growth of the organization, world peace, society awareness. The incident that you narrated, if our sankalpa was strong, for Sankalpa was pure, the deputy Tahsildar was transferred from Kanchipuram to Salingalpur for 7 days, only to approval for this, giving approval for this Kendra. This is a fantastic example because we are having purity in our thought, in purity in our action, in purity in our how Swami guides us. This is the example that you narrate that the deputy Tahsildar was deputed for only for 7 days to giving approval for Kendra. The purpose of you beautifully stressed about the individual sadhana, the importance of recurrence with the thought, word, and action. And you also said that everybody is having some unseen force. It may be our parents, our forefathers, our friends, somebody in the society, or Swami itself guides us, motivates to have a look in this organization. You also told that we must thank that person who introduced to Bhagavan. Yes, perfectly all right. In your case, that I think that your uncle is the person that forced unseen power, who forced you to go to Coimbatore. Then only your entire, you told that they have taken 45 years, although some Sai devotees are there, they know pretty well about Bhagavan, they understand Swami. They have taken 45 years to know what is the purpose of their life. A very fantastic inspiration that too. How this so many people cannot know totally how this Kendra was built. The Kendra was built by Bhagavan itself. The entire narration what you have given is he is the man source, he is the man the force. That he guided in every action. Thank you so much, Venkat Sairam. I request all my brothers, you please share your happiness, you please express your feelings. Jai Sairam. Sairam sir, మాట్లాడండి. Sir, please unmute and speak.
Sai Ram sir, Rai Kumar from Guntur. We heard
Sairam, sir.
a good speech, a good account of Swami's guidance to Mr. Venkat. And his description about all his experiences with Swami. It's a very nice and good speech. I congratulate Mr. Venkat to have such an experiences. Thank you.
Sai Ram sir. Sai Ram Venkat sir. Sai Ram, your speech
Sairam, sir. Sairam.
is really a good boost for us with your experiences, your involvement in many of the issues. It shows how deeply you are involving in the Swami's activities. Really a great satsang today. It is a very much touching, sir. Excellently, you have narrated all the things, whatever you have experienced. Sure, sir. We are very much blessed today to have a such type of satsang with you, people like you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Emilan Garu. Thank you, sir.
Sairam, sir. Sairam.
Sairam sir, last 1.5 hours, 2 hours, how it's gone, we don't know. Really, extremely directly from your heart, and it is not we are choosing Swami. Swami is choosing us. So Swami has chosen you as an instrument in his divine mission. And whatever the words are coming from your heart, your mouth, it is not yours, it is Swami's, sir. And to know when we are doing Swami's work, how Swami also will involve himself and do that work, whether it is physical work or our mind, inside our mind, whatever it is happening, everything, if Swami is there, everything is success. That is what we learn from this speech. So we are begging Swami to give such opportunity to do his mission of work more and more, so that always be part of his mission, and always will be there under his grace and love. Extremely good, sir. We really enjoyed it. Thank you for arranging such a satsang, Yamalan sir. Please do it more and more. So thanks a lot, sir. Sai Ram.
Sairam.
Sairam, please speak అండి, మాట్లాడండి, అందరు మాట్లాడండి.
నమస్కారం అండి వెంకట్ గారు.
Sairam sir, Sairam.
నేను కేంద్రానికి వచ్చాను. ఐ విజిటెడ్ ది కేంద్ర అండ్ దెన్ వెరీ నైస్ అండి. మిమ్మల్ని కూడా కలిశాను.
అవును సార్, Sairam sir.
మీరు అలైన్మెంట్ గురించి చెప్పారు. అది అలైన్మెంట్ వచ్చేసి ధర్మబద్ధంగా ఉండాలని యమలన్ గారు చెప్పారు. ఆ అలైన్మెంట్ ఉంటే అదే ట్యూనింగ్, అదే రెజనెన్స్, అదే హార్మనీ అనేసి మీకు తెలుసు. కానీ కాన్స్టెంట్ ఇంటిగ్రేటెడ్ అవేర్నెస్ ఉంటే ఆ స్వామి ఎలా చేశారో చూడండి. వారి పని మన పురుష ప్రయత్నం చేస్తుంటే వారు ఎవ్రీథింగ్ హీ విల్ డూ ఇట్ అండ్ దెన్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ హ్యాస్ ఫాలెన్ ఇన్ ప్లేస్. ఎలా చేయించారో చూడండి. హౌ హీ హాస్ డన్ ది ఆల్ ది వర్క్స్ రైట్ ఫ్రమ్ ది plan approval, and then how giving the approval, everything for construction, everything. But you are having a purity. You have donated the land, so that's why everything has fallen in place. So everything is in unity of thought, word and action. ఆ ప్యూరిటీ ఉంటే స్వామి హెల్ప్ చేస్తారండి. స్వామి ఎలా హెల్ప్ చేశారో చూడండి. థ్యాంక్స్ అండి.
Sairam sir, Sairam sir.
Sairam, Venkat brother, just one, I forgotten one word, sir.
Sairam sir.
Venkat sir, you beautifully explained the power of bhajan. It may be half an hour or 20 minutes or 1 hour bhajan that we are attending. We may think
Yes,
that
sir.
only we attend a 15 minutes bhajan, we attend only 30 minutes bhajan, we attend only 1 hour bhajan. What about the remaining 23 days? A fantastic personal experience that I experienced at Kottagudem, I forgotten here. Sairam sir, అందరూ you're all elders, you're all అందరూ స్వామిని ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ చేసిన వాళ్ళే. ఆ భజన ప్రాముఖ్యత ఎలా ఉందో, the importance of bhajan, the impact of bhajan that we are attending, it may be Thursday or Sunday. I had a couple, one couple used to attend a Thursday bhajan at Kottagudem Samiti. They will simply come to the bhajan, they will sit at the last places. చివర్లో కూర్చుంటారు, భజన్లో చివర్లో కూర్చుంటారు ఆ దంపతులు ఇద్దరు. దే ఎంజాయ్ ద భజన్, హ్యావ్ విభూతి తీసుకుంటారు. దే విల్ నాట్ ఎవరితో కూడా మన డిస్కషన్ లో పాల్గొనరు. అంటే మనం అంటే ఆర్గనైజేషన్ కనుక వీళ్ళు ఇద్దరు ముగ్గురు కూర్చుని వీళ్ళు డిస్కస్ అబౌట్ ద భజన్ అండ్ ఫ్యూచర్ కోర్స్ ఆఫ్ యాక్షన్ ఆల్సో వాట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ ఇన్ ద కమింగ్ డేస్. But they simply attend the bhajan, enjoying the preaching, taking the vibhuti prasada, then they will go to their respective home. Once they conducted a bhajan at their home, that Srimurti told that, Sairam, I want to tell you one thing, sir. We attend only 1 hour bhajan at Thursday at Sai Samiti. You know, Sairam, the 1 hour bhajan gives the strength for rest 7 days, all the days. What a fantastic experience. ఒక గంట భజనలో మనం తన్మయత్వంతో థాట్ వర్డ్ యాక్షన్ తో కనుక మనం ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తే the impact of that 1 hour bhajan reflect on the remaining activities of the entire day and the entire coming days also. Sairam, very beautifully narrated about the importance of bhajan, Venkat.
Sairam uncle, thank you, Sairam.
My humble pranams in the lotus feet of my mother, father, Guru Bhagavan Satsai Baba. Sairam, sir. Sir, you have stressed very good on about the unity of word, thought, and deed. If every one of us, yeah, and especially you have stressed that it's not only the Satsai organization people have to do, but that should be done for every human being. That's what Swami always says. That is a character. Character is nothing but the unity of word, thought, and deed. Really, for all the believers of Bhagavan Satsai, because I don't have the guts to say that I'm a devotee. If we do in that, definitely we can grow to the extent what Swami wants us to do. And from your speech, it is rightly understood that Swami is the doer, and everything. Though you are not interested to go to Madras and all that, but you have gone there. So everything is destiny. So the fate, but that should be, that we have to take it in that aspect that everything happens according to the God's will. And if we have that faith, definitely Swami will take our hand and make us to walk in our journey. Thank you so much, Sairam, for giving a very good thing about you have stressed a lot on unity of word and thought. That is the lacking in today in many of us. But we pray to Bhagavan that as we entered his institution, his organization, we all of must practice that unity of word, thought, and deed. Sairam.
Sairam. Well said, sister. Sairam.
Ram, we'll conclude this session with 2 bhajans. I request Vinay Kumar from Vizag is sing 1 bhajan. Then Hema Kumari from Puttaparthi will sing Subramanya. Vinay Kumar from Vizag is sing 1 bhajan. Then Subramanya Bhai or Hema Kumari Puttaparthi.
Rama Rama Pavitra Nama Rama Bhajo Rama Japo Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama Rama Sai Rama 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 Pavitra Nama Nama Bhajo Rama Japo Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama Rama Sai Rama 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 Pavitra Nama Sairam.
Subramanyam Subramanyam Shanmuganada Subramanyam 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 Shanmuganada Subramanyam Siva 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 Subramanyam Arahara Arahara Subramanyam Siva Siva Arahara Subramanyam Arahara Siva Siva Subramanyam Siva Saravana Bhava Subramanyam Guru Charavana Bhava Subramanyam Siva Siva Arahara Subramanyam Arahara Siva Siva Subramanyam Siva Siva Arahara Subramanyam Arahara Siva Siva Subramanyam 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 Shanmuganada Subramanyam 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 Shanmuganada Subramanyam 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 Sainada Subramanyam 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 Sainada Subramanyam 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 Shanmuganada Subramanyam 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 Sainada Subramanyam Sairam.
Chari Gari Shanti Mantram. అప్పలాచారి గారు
చెప్పమంటారా సార్?
చెప్పమ్మా చెప్పండి.
అది ఇవాళ నా సెల్లో రాకపోతే మా అబ్బాయి సెల్లో జాయిన్ అయ్యాను సార్.
పర్లేదు చెప్పమ్మా చెప్పు వెరీ హ్యాపీ.
ఓకే. ఓం శ్రీ సాయిరామ్. ఓం నమో భగవతే మహాసుదర్శన వాసుదేవాయ ధన్వంతరాయ అమృత కలశ హస్తాయ సకల భయ వినాశాయ సర్వరోగ నివారణాయ త్రైలోక్యపతయే त्रैलोक्यनिधये ॐ श्री महाविष्णु स्वरूप श्री धन्वन्तरी स्वरूप ॐ श्री श्री औषध चक्र नारायण स्वाहा प्रसीद विश्वेश्वरी विश्वप्रसीद प्रसीद विश्वेश्वरी वेदरूपिणी प्रसीद विश्वेश्वरी मन्त्रविग्रहे प्रसीद विश्वेश्वरी विश्वनाथ प्रसीद श्री अच्युताय नमः श्री अनंताय नमः श्री गोविंदाय नमः श्री मात्रे नमः सर्वव्याधि प्रशमने सर्वमृत्युनिवारिणे श्री मात्रे नमः ओम श्री भूत भव्य भवत्प्रभो श्री प्रशांति साई भूतात्मा धर्मात्मा श्री धन्वन्तरि अंश सच्च साई मम प्रार्थना उत्तिष्ठ शोक संकट दुःख निवारण महाकृपा कटाक्ष पाहि मां पाहि ओम शांति 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 साई राम।
त्रयंबकं यजामहे
ॐ
सुगन्धिं
त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् नमस्ते नमस्ते गुरु महाराज सद्गुरु श्री सत्य साई महाराज शरणं शरणं श्री साई सा साष्टांग शरणं सर्वेशा नमस्ते नमस्ते गुरु महाराज सद्गुरु श्री सत्य साई महाराज ओम शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु ओम शांति 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की राजाधिराज योगी राज पर ब्रह्म सच्चिदानंद समस्त सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय बोलो माता पिता गुरुदैवानि की అందరికీ సాయిరాం అండి.
One small announcement, Sairam.
అందరికీ సాయిరాం.
Coming in this month, we are having 3 Sundays. Next Sunday, we are having Satsangam from Janjala Nageshwara Garu. He is the son of Janjala Venkateshwara Shastri Garu, who has given this beautiful Tapovanam book, the Swami's life history to the entire universe. Coming Sunday, next 2 Sundays, we are having Satsanga from D.S. Shastri Garu. He is the HR of HSI Institute of Higher Medical Sciences. He is the man, he is the devotee who has seen Swami's real form. He will lead us to Satsangas on 20th and 27th. And Bhagavan's blessings, we are celebrating this daily Satsanga 365 days on 29th, Tuesday. So we are having a divine discourse by Kamaraj Anil Kumar Garu, our All India President also. He was very much happy to attend the function. Our State President Chandrasekhar Garu, our DP Sairam, and our National Sevadal Coordinator S. Koteswarao Garu, and our National Mahila Incharge L. Sesubal Garu, all cordially accepted to attend this 365 days Satsanga program. I request you all, we will intimate the program in all the groups. Jai Sairam. Thank you again. Thank you once again for participating in this divine Satsanga. Sairam to all. Sairam.
Thank you. Sairam.
సాయిరాం అండి అందరికీ
అందరికీ సాయిరాం అండి. సాయిరాం.
సాయిరాం అండి అందరికీ సాయిరాం.
సాయిరామ్ అండి అందరికి. లక్ష్మణ గారు
అమ్మా
పొద్దున మాకు అది కలవలేదండి
కొంచెం
ఫోను.
కష్టం అయిందా మళ్ళీ? సారీ అమ్మా, ఏమనుకోకండి.